our dear viewers, and welcome to our show. Now, we've had many questions about fasting, whether it's healthy or not, and how to go about fasting. So that's what our episode today will be about. Fasting and the frequent or the common questions that arise when people decide to fast. Now, one of the first or the most common questions is, what should I do at iftar time? So when you are breaking your fast, a lot of people are really not sure of how to go about it or what the correct methodology to do or to use when you're consuming food to make sure everything's okay. Now, as the recommendation is, you should be taking dates. Of course, with dates, you really need to limit it. Now, I know people sometimes go crazy and they'll take 5 or 7 dates. Try to limit it to 1 or 3 dates, not more than that, and then something warm. So you need to keep in mind that you really haven't had food for several hours, so your main focus should be on soothing your stomach with something warm. So even if you want to have your dates with water, make sure the water is warm or room temperature. You really don't want to have this icy cold thing that could really frail your gastric system. Otherwise, a great substitute to water is soup, but you want to make sure it's a low-fat soup. So avoid the soups that are loaded with creams, avoid the processed ones that come in packages because again they contain a lot of fat. Something like a vegetable soup or a soup with oats or tomato, those are excellent sources, or even just a broth. So something with chicken broth, that's an excellent way to hydrate yourself. For people that are not big fans of soup, then maybe buttermilk or leban is an excellent thing to combine with the dates, and this way you'll be getting the liquid form, so you'll be hydrating your body, and then you'll be getting all the electrolytes, so all the potassium and the phosphorus and the iron from the dates. You don't necessarily need to jump into your meal. What we recommend you do is you take a break. So this is an excellent time for those that wish to go pray. They can go pray and break for a little bit before they jump into their main meal. Now, of course, with the main meal, we really need to be careful of what we're consuming. You want to try to avoid the fatty food. Now, a lot of complaints we get from people is that they feel tired and lethargic post-futur. Now, that's probably because of a lot of mistakes that could be made during futur. Stay tuned so we can discuss these mistakes and how to avoid them. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So, what are these mistakes that we're making at futur time? A lot of us delve into the fried foods, so the sambusas and the kubbas, and we don't realize how heavy they could be on our stomach, especially because we haven't consumed food all day. I know that because we're breaking our fast, usually at a time where the sun has set, we keep in mind, or we're thinking that this is a regular meal, but you do need to keep in mind that this meal to your body is equivalent to breakfast. And especially when you're fasting spontaneously or not consistently, or for example, if you are fasting in Ramadan and it's one of the first few days of Ramadan, your system hasn't really adjusted to this fasting idea. So bombarding it with fried food could be really heavy on it. Try to have the baked sambusas or the baked kubbas instead. And if you are going to have it fried, try to limit yourself to 1 to 2 pieces, not more, just so you don't overwhelm your system. Now you've had your soup, your dates, and your fried foods. This is a good time to have some salad, especially if you're fasting in the heat and you're losing a lot of water. So I know a lot of people don't realize that you can get your water from foods. You don't necessarily need to be getting them from water itself or from any form of liquid. So you can have a lot of salad and then you can delve into your main dish. Try to limit the portions that you're eating so you don't really feel tired and sleepy after futur. Otherwise, you will be crashing and you will feel the need to go to sleep. Try to avoid that, because the best time actually to exercise if you want to build muscle and you don't want to feel really tired or overwhelm yourself is around 2 hours after futur. So then maybe after you're done with that exercise, you can go and continue and have another snack. Again, it's a good idea at that time when you're having your snack to have something like fruits that are rich in water and will replenish and rehydrate your body. So this sequence will really, keep your body healthy and tuned throughout the month or whenever you decide to be fasting spontaneously. And it's a good way to make sure that you're not, overwhelming your system with any heavy foods, or you're not letting your system crash. And people that are trying to be very weight conscious while they're fasting, this is an excellent way to detox and to actually cleanse your body of all the toxins and lose some weight. Now stay tuned, we have some more questions to answer for you. Welcome back, our dear viewers. So now that we've gotten rid of the futur and the snack time, we can come and approach our suhoor time. So with suhoor, it's really tricky because you can eat a food item or you can eat, different types of food that could actually make you really hungry the next day, or you can eat foods that will make you feel full and happy and like really, content with the amount of food you have for the next day. Now, my general advice is for you to end your fasting period with the same way you started it. So a couple of dates, 1 to 3 dates is really more than enough, with again a glass of water, or a cup of soup, or even a glass of liban or buttermilk. That's an excellent way to replenish your electrolytes and make sure that you're really going to be good for the next day. If you're not really a big fan of dates, you can always supplement dates with other types of fruits like figs or prunes or even a banana, and this will give you enough energy. It's really important if you are fasting at a time where the day is really, really long, especially during summertime, that you try to delay your suhoor until it's time for Fajr prayer. So you can delay it as much as you can to leave no room for like fasting for extra hours. It's really very important if you do decide to fast in the summer that you do wake up and have a meal, even if it's a glass of water, just so you don't fast for longer than 15 to 16 hours. Otherwise, it really just becomes overwhelming for the body, and the body will start to shut down sooner or later, and you really don't want that. At the time of suhoor, you really want to avoid fatty foods. Those will make you hungry the next day. Foods that are high in sugar or high in white carbs or refined carbs, those will make you really hungry. So things like pastas or pizzas or burgers, they won't give you much I'd rather you guys focus on things like oats or apples or even any other type of fruits, like we said, bananas and prunes, or maybe just a soup. Those are thick enough to stay in your system all day. Now, it's very important that you also get plenty of sleep. I know it could be hard, but sleep is important when you are fasting, because again, you don't want your system to crash. You don't want your body to go into a frenzy and to start this inflammation mode where it will start storing in any fat. So I think if you practice all these things and you're really mindful about what you eat, you could really achieve a lot during this month or when you do decide to fast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you all next time.